So in today's video, kind of weirdly really, you find me back in Shropshire. I say weirdly because my last video was from this very place, but I have been home. I just haven't done any YouTube videos back up in the Lake District or anywhere sort of back up north. Excuse me, that's because I'm back on workshop duty. I've been running my one-to-one, so I just haven't really had time. I've done 2 workshops back in the Lake District, and let me tell you, oh, it's been lovely. It's been my first one since like lockdown, so like 5 months, which is mad. But yeah, it's an absolute delight to be back up the fells doing workshops and stuff, and they've been thoroughly enjoyable. Now I'm back down in Shropshire because I've also got a one-to-one workshop tomorrow in North Wales. So I'm spending a couple of days here, and I thought, why not come out and do a video again? Now, in my last video that I released, you'll remember, if you watched it, that I came up to one of these mountains here on the Long Mynd and I photographed some of this heather. Now, although I quite liked the image, I'll put it up on the screen now, I really liked it in hindsight, or when I was editing it really, whereas at the time I didn't really think much of it. It's inspired me to come and try and, you know, properly photograph some of this heather. Heather hunting, let's call it, in today's video. But yeah, it's inspired me to come out and try and photograph it properly, and really try and think about composition a little bit more. Although, like I said, I didn't think that image was too bad. Now, the weather, I don't know what's going to happen. It's warm. It's actually forecast thunderstorms. So I'm pretty close to the car in case it all kicks off. But at the same time, it's looking lovely. We could get a sunset, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Because what I really want is some nice vibrant colours in the sky to complement, obviously, the vibrancy of the colour that we're getting from this beautiful heather. I still think it's a little bit early in the season. It's not quite as vibrant as it will be in probably 2 or 3 weeks' time. But nevertheless, it's still looking lovely and definitely worth a little bit of a photo shoot, really. So let's go and explore. So before I get into this shot, I've got a new lens. I have got a new zoom lens, a new telephoto lens, and there's a bit of a story behind this one. I have got this lens for free or as a gift from one of you guys, from a subscriber. Actually, a lady called Diane, who's based in Massachusetts, I believe, in the United States. And yeah, what a privilege. So incredibly grateful. And yeah, this lady Diane emailed me and just said, I think she'd got herself a new zoom lens. She was going to sell this one, and she decided to see if I would like it for free to use. Absolutely unreal. So thank you so much to Diane, and just for everyone really, for all your support. It's just unreal. It's very easy for me to keep doing this when I get ridiculous amounts of support like this, so thank you so much. This is the first time I'm using it, so it's a Nikon 55-300 f4.5 to f5.6, so it's much better lens than my last telephoto lens, which was still a decent lens, but mainly because I've got an extra 300mm of zoom, which is class, obviously. So pop it back on the tripod here. It's a bit bittersweet here, if I'm being honest. As you saw me setting up my composition and stuff then, the light was incredible. We were getting this beautiful side light. However, it's very quickly been covered by this kind of like weird low grey haze. And it's not quite as nice. However, you can probably see it's still quite soft and diffuse and subtle, so it's kind of being filtered through that cloud. So it might actually work out a little bit better I'm not sure. But I really like the composition, and I think it's going to be a really nice, lovely, quintessential, charming British summertime photograph with the vibrancy of the heather, the mystery of just these two trees in the background, and the sort of general haze that seems to cover the scene. Also, this isn't the way I've got my white balance set on the video camera, but you'll see in the background there's just this really nice sort of warm glow going on, and that's just lucky. That's going to work really nicely with this composition. So I've got I'll just bring up the photograph here. So this was taken at 116mm, so I'm not that zoomed in really, but I'm zooming across the heather. I've got this one sort of clump, probably this one here, that's going to be in the bottom right hand third of my composition, and then the two trees are going to be in the top left hand third of the composition. So it's a nice sort of diagonal balance really. It's gorgeous, and like I said about the two trees, they're just so mysterious and sinister, and we are getting some nice light from the side. I think it might have been nicer earlier on, but you can't win them all. And what I've done here, it's 1/100th of a second, so it's pretty quick shutter speed, ISO 100, and I've focused on this heather here, and I'm shooting at f5.6, so that's doing two things in this instance. Firstly, it's allowing the trees and the rest of the background to kind of blur off nicely. The background's going to be soft, the header's going to be nice and sharp, but it's going to work really, really well because of the haze, which is kind of softening that scene anyway, and I'm trying to use that to my advantage. It's pretty much exactly the same concept as fog. The haze is helping to just soften the background naturally, and it looks lovely. Really, really nice. Actually, a bloke just walked past me, and he was really posh, and he said, "Oh, isn't it such a lovely evening?" Hope you like my accent there. And it just made me think, like, yeah, it is actually. It's really sort of just a calm, quintessential, lovely British evening, and hopefully I can get that across in this photograph. Right, so the weather has completely changed. It's gone like gloomy, and perhaps those thunderstorm forecasts were correct after all. So what I'm trying to do now is just try and be reactive to what's happening with the conditions. It's a really good bit of advice for any beginner photographers out there. You know, I've come here with sort of like pre-visualizations of what I wanted from the evening. It's been sunny all day, it's been red hot. I thought I'll come out, capture that traditional sunset. I'll capture some side light like you were seeing me trying to get in the last image. That's gone, that's changed. It's really important to try and stay open-minded to the weather conditions, especially when, like, you know, we all know what it's like in the UK, and there's a lot of other places in the world that are exactly like this. It's just so incredibly changeable. This has all happened within about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of going up this hill to the top of this mountain to the peak, which was my plan, I've actually found, I'm not going to be able to show you here, there's a tree just there that I've spotted right off in the distance, and it looks like a dead tree. It's got a lot of character, obviously no leaves or anything like that. Even from here I can tell, or I get the feeling, that it looks really, really sinister, and it looks black. So something's telling me that that's going to be a really nice subject to complement these really, really gloomy conditions that it actually proper feels like it's going to rain. I think I'm going to get drenched. But anyway, it's fun. I'm going to go and check it out. There's no point in going up to the top of this hill and just getting soaked and not getting any of that light like I'd planned. So yeah, try and stay open-minded and roll with the punches. Is that the saying? I don't know. Roll with what you've got, and yeah, I'm babbling on now. I'm getting down to the tree. Oh, I need to get the camera, don't I?
forget about yourself. Wondering how it could go so wrong, but you didn't call for help. Let me tell you about the dream.
I'm set up. This has been a tough one, if I'm being honest. So you can see there is our tree, and nicely set up here with the D7200, of course. I think actually, weirdly, in contrast to what I was just saying before about not getting any pre-visualizations too etched in your mind before you go out with your camera, and stay open-minded, I've actually done the opposite here. I've walked over towards this tree, and I've got this idea in my mind of what I want. I want the tree to look really sinister. I want it to look grand. I wanted to centralise it in my frame. I wanted a nice, detailed, moody, gloomy sky in the background. And having that mindset, ironically, because I've just said don't do that, having that mindset has actually worked against me in many ways, because I've just struggled with this composition because I can't meet that pre-visualisation. But the image that I'm going to get it's alright. I think I'm quite excited that I've found it. It's a really, really nice subject. And actually as well, you see there's the two trees that I photographed before. And it's also a really nice perspective of them, kind of looking further down into that valley. So that's definitely a positive, that's a bonus. Yeah, with that being said, I'm not wholly elated with this composition, let's say. It's alright, and I like the concept, at least. So I've got the 16-35 lens on, you can see then. Obviously I'm in a portrait dimension. Now, I wanted to find some more heather, just because I wanted foreground interest. I couldn't find a way of just photographing the tree on its own with a little bit of background. And this little bunch that I found here is working quite well. As you can see, it's quite close to my camera, so I am shooting at f/14 and I'm focused on the heather, so I should get a fairly decent focus throughout the image from front to back without having to focus stack or anything like that. And like I said, portrait dimension, I have centralised the tree just to try and give it a lot more prominence within the composition, within the photograph. Sort of like the bottom quarter is this bunch of heather that I've got down here. And then hopefully the sky is actually quite moody, and there is a fair bit of detail up there. You know, loads of different shades of grey, which I love. It is very, very gloomy, but I think I might have to try and emphasise that in post-processing in Lightroom to really try and achieve the visualisation. I can't say that bloody word. Try and achieve the visualisation of what I've got with regards to this image. It's about half a second, this exposure. It's changing all the time, which I guess I always say this, but it does show you how sort of dark it is now, even though it might not look like it on this camera. But yeah, not a bad image, but like I said just briefly a second ago, I'm more happy that I've found this location. You know, it's proper close to the road. The car's only 5 minutes walk, and I think, you know, when there's conditions forecast that I think will suit this scene, maybe when it's more gloomy, maybe come out when it is actually raining, a lot more dramatic, I think that'll work better, so I can return. But this is going to be alright. So I hope you like that shot. Pretty decent evening, I hope you'll agree. Just a couple of things before I leave. Firstly, yeah, my one-to-ones, like I said at the start, are back up and running. I'll put a link up here in the corner. I never know which side it is. One of the sides there'll be a link if you want to check out my one-to-one page on my website. I'll also leave one in the video description underneath. I've got a fairly decent amount of availability throughout the rest of summer and autumn, like I said. So yeah, let me know if you want to one-to-one. Secondly, and I'm going to leave the video on this one, most importantly, thank you so much again to Diane for the lens. What a treat. I'm sure you'll agree that's such an incredible gesture, and yeah, I'll try and repay you with some good telephoto photographs, although I can't promise anything. But yeah, absolutely amazing, and just super grateful for that. Absolutely amazing. Just for you, the support that I received from you guys in general. Unreal. But anyway, thank you as always for joining me on this adventure. Please give the video a like if you have a second to spare. That always means a hell of a lot. And yeah, I shall see you on the next adventure. Out.